Welcome back everyone to Commodity Trader, and this is Subhash once again with the crude oil forecast for the coming week. Actually, I was lagging this video for the reason crude has lost direction for past few weeks and it was trading in a tight range, and even it was unpredictable, I would say, and it was quite risky trading on the crude, especially bad news has prevailed one on the top, and the prices actually the international market were trying to upbring the prices, and they failed miserably, especially the last few days were crucial when the prices were jumping up above $40. The final news of COVID spreading in Europe and the new lockdown has ended up in disaster. So we will look into few issues what exactly is affecting the crude at the moment, and some major points I've highlighted here, and you can look at the list of the problems what crude is facing right now, the prices, why it's not going up. The first is the number of rigs are increasing in America. As you know, it was deserted after COVID. All the rigs were left out, and there was no production at all. Now people are encouraged, or they are desperate to open back, and almost 200% of rig has come up, and this is not a good sign. Because why? Because the inventory was in a draw, or it went down last few weeks, and yes, last week the stock was quite good for the market. Like inventory had given a good sign of positive sign of market coming up, or the usage getting into normalcy. But what happened? What will happen is once this rig is back, the production, the more oil is going to be pumped into the world market, which will end up again in a bad inventory, and not at all good for the prices. And the summer is over, October 10 itself, the summer were over, it is a winter season totally. People are subdued, or people are sitting home, they are just pulling back themselves, and this is not going to help crude again. And the most worrying factor is the recent, as I told you earlier, the news from the France and Germany and UK, which has gone to shut down. Again, a lockdown has started, which is not at all a good sign. And how long this will last, nobody knows. So until then, crude is going to be affected. The prices, people will not invest in crude unless there is a clear picture about the COVID situations. And the lockdown, as I told you, that we discussed travelers. The most important point of the Christmas is we are approaching the Christmas, fast approaching, but the main issue again going to be the COVID, and people are going to abandon the flights, especially the jet fuel. If its usage is not at all, if the usage is less, or if it's going to be seldom used, or it's not at all going to be used, I would say, because jets are in the garage, or it's not going to fly anymore unless there is a clear picture for travelers or tourists. Because they are scared, people are skeptical on travels. They are not going to take a risk. There is no safety anywhere around the world. Nobody is going to assure you also safety, so they will abandon. The jets are the main places where we can get the COVID easily, or we will caught up with COVID easily from jets. There are plenty of reason why. Leave it. So that is another reason jet flyers. And the next is India is creeping up very fast. It's catching up. It's in the headlines now. India is the number of COVID patients are alarmingly increased in India, and they are in. India is topping right now. So it's not now the Holi. When along with that, when we are approaching Holi, this is a festival where people are going to mingle. This is not uncontrollable. This is not in our hands. It is uncontrollable. Whatever would happen, it will multiply. So the COVID situation is going to be worse during Holy month, and this is another thing which we have to look forward. Or this is not anyway. This is something we have to closely watch. Another problem. Major issues is China. As you know, China were importing oil, especially India and China. They were utilizing the situation of COVID prices, especially when there was a tug of war between Saudi Arabia and Russia. It just benefited India and China in a big way, and they accumulated crude and filled their reservoirs in a big way. And now we will not require. China especially will not require oil for next few months, or quarters, I would say. So this. So China now, since the prices are increasing in the international market, they're cutting down the imports. They are cutting down imports in a big way, which is going to affect crude. I'm telling you, if you, I'm telling you, you are going to absorb. I mean, it's going to, you will experience it in the coming weeks. The inventory going to change totally. I'm telling you. So if the inventory increase in the coming weeks, what will happen? Again, the pressure will be on the prices of the crude to come down or cross $40 down. That we will show. I will discuss it in the chart how it is going to affect. But anyway, this is one of the major reason why China's reduction is going to impact crude in a big way. Another thing is OPEC's decision to increase the production, because they are again desperate to increase the production. They were holding for such a long period. Now Russia is pressurizing other GCC countries, because 500 billion, 600, they are in utter loss, so they cannot hold the production anymore. So Saudi, Dubai, everybody is trying to increase the production, which is not a good sign again. Now, looking at looking at all the negatives, let's look at some positive, points, which is not a major one, but even though. What I am optimistic is on the price, the American push for prices to reach $46. Why? The shell producers, fracking, they extract the gas from the rocks, So these people, for them to get into break-even point for the shale producers, the prices of crude has to reach 46. Otherwise, they will go. There is no point of for them to produce this shale, because there will be no demand. For them to have a demand, the crude has to jump into a territory of $46 to $50, which otherwise. It's going to be a disaster for the shell producers. So the Americans are trying to increase the price, and of course they will win. They will find a way for the prices to reach $46. So we have to be. I think I will be optimistic here for the prices. One of the reason I would say will be this one: the shell producers, to help the shell producers. They will increase the prices. And again, as I told you, the crude stock as of last week is very much positive. And if it prolong, I don't know if it is prolonging, we have nothing to say, go for a buy, I would say. But the crude stock is inventory is a major key right now. Now, if things are working the other way, for example, if the things are negative, what will happen? We'll look at the chart. For example, I have prepared the dollar chart for you. So if you look at the dollar chart, for example, Friday, what really happening is, as I told you, the crude's dollar range is in between 40.63. You can see here 40.63 and 41.50 or 41.30. This is a major range right now, and the last few weeks it was trying to break this range. And as Friday, for example, 40.63 played a key role. Like 40.63, it was hanging on for a long time. It broke, and one time you can see here, this point where everybody thought it's going to be a downside, and what happened? Suddenly crude jumped up and again crossed the CPR upside, and it gave a bullishness. Of course, it gave few points, but again, it was a wrong signal, I would say. Again, crude rested on 40.63 and closed. I will look into MCX for the Indian prices, but I am talking about 40.63 playing a major role, and it's hanging on why? It is on the top of the CPR. It's a positive sign. 40.63 when it is crossing 40.74, it closed. It's a positive sign. So now yesterday or coming day hours, if there is a trade happening, we have to look at on the chart what exactly is happening internationally. So what I'm trying to say is, let me close this one for example. I'm sorry. Okay, now what I'm trying to say, if crude is going up, or if it is squeezing up again back to 42 range, this is a major resistance, I would say. If it is crossing 42 on the upside, I'm telling you, if it's closing above 42 on a strong note, if it's giving a clear indication of a bullishness, again, I'm telling you, there's no look back. It will take 45. It will not reverse at any point, because even with these all negatives, market is trying to lift the prices. Somehow they want to reach 45. I told you there is a major reason. One election is upcoming, so maybe they will test 45 just for the sake of it. So we have to be very careful. That's why I told you we cannot think about a major sell happening or a plummet of like the prices. I mean, it cannot happen so fast. The reason, they are holding the prices for the reason to touch 45. So let us be careful, and it's a nibbling worry right now, because if, for example, if it is coming down again, I'm telling you, if the inventory news are bad for people who want to enter the market, if you're taking up for example a long term, for example, I'm talking about November contract. Now 19th is the expiry of the October contract. So people who want to enter crude on a delivery basis, for example, people who want to hold for a few weeks, they can think about entering here, 38.78. Because this is a position where if you enter here, I would recommend you to hold, never sell it, because you will get in Indian MCX minimum 200 rupees, 250 rupees, and even there will be a lot of swing trades happening in the middle. So what I'm trying to say, hold crude in case if you get a chance to enter 39 or 38 territory. So this 39, 34, I'm sure it will touch in the coming trading sections, because I know it is so sluggish market. Crude is sluggish and it cannot hold for a while at on this range. And I'm telling you, bad news on bad news, and there is nothing supportive at the moment, nothing positive for the crude to immediately rush towards 45 at the moment. So it will hang on to $42. It will try to reach 42, I'm sure, but I'm sure it will be reversed. It will be reversed strongly, and it will give you a chance here. And if there is a always for intraday people, if you are getting a chance to sell at 42, I'm telling you, go ahead. Don't wait, don't worry, and don't be skeptical. Don't take the chance, and I'm sure you will be getting a very good reward. And if you look at the same scenario, as I told you, so dollar ends here, and the worst situation, which is going to be $35.72, which tested in August, I think. So I don't think so. It is going to reach there. We can expect 37. A maximum of 36.90 and 38.78, as I told you, coming trades. I mean, the next weeks we are going to observe 38.78. I'm sure it will reach 38.78, but this 37, 36.90, we will be. I mean, I would say we will be lucky enough to buy over there, and we have to get into the crude chart. I mean, crude oil. In this area of trading sections, and hold it. Otherwise, people who are doing intraday with a strict stop loss enter the point with a 30 points upside and 30 points downside stop loss, and you will be rewarded, I'm sure. And looking at the MCX chart, again, I'm telling you, the same scenario. If the crude touching 42, it will be around this area. If I take a price level, it will be this area, like yeah. This area, because 30.80, this will be it won't go beyond this point. Okay, this will be the area if it is touching $42, and this is what crude is trying now. You can see here, it's trying to break this 3016 3009 jig. You know, this is what's happening for you. Can see here how many attempts it's made to cross this 30333 and 3033, always 3041 it reached. It is reversed, it is sent back, strongly sent back. And again, if it is trying, and if it breaks, I'm telling you, these are the areas 3068 and 3081, which is our major resistance. And if it breaks, it is going to get into the next float, which is 3316 area. And once it reach this 3116 area, you are going to witness 3250, where we were trading in September. I think it was September, if I'm not wrong. This is the area we were trading in September. 3250, I think it reached almost here. So this is another area I'm talking about. Once it entered this area of 3116 to 3250, it's going to be altogether a different trade. Then we have to be bullish, altogether bullish for 3250. So once it crosses strongly 3116, it's closing and it's trading above for 2-3 days. Assume if it's trading for 1 week, I'm sure it will take 3250. Never we can look back for this level of 3068 or 3080. This will be supports there. So until then, these are resistance, big resistance. So wait for your chance. Right now, I would recommend you to sell at 3080 if you get a chance. And I'm sure you will be rewarded minimum 80 to 90, 100 points downside, and easily you can make money on this in this volatility and on bad news one on the other. So I wish you all good luck, and hope you will make real money out of I hope this was educative and you really like the video, or it was helpful for you. If you liked my video, please press the bell icon and subscribe and encourage me. Kindly do that, because I'm less with the subscribers. Okay, thank you so much.